Say this one has been more calm than some of the other ones that I've been at in New York and Minneapolis in 2008. Okay, thanks. We're live. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Dee, on the back end. Thank you, Nico, for the help, technical assistance. Thank you, Chris, for the filming. So we've been interviewing people. There's been, hundreds of people have gone on these marches. They've been going around. Now they're moving back towards the Red Arrow Park that's on the east side here. So you can see this is a vehicle checkpoint. You can see they've got these like portable barriers. The thing about these conventions is that they're really not good for the local economy in various ways because they interrupt the flow of the city. And this is an example. These checkpoints are basically people can't come to the regular businesses. They can't do their regular hanging out. They don't have that option because of this security setup. Let's stick with the march and start getting more interviews again. We're back live again. So thank you all for tuning in. Much appreciated, everybody. Thank you for sharing our work. Again, we want to try to help people understand how the National Special Security Event System works, how the security is organized at these events, how they pull in 4,000 police officers, how in the past, in 2008, we found that the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency was involved in what's called the Multi-Agency Communications Center in Minneapolis. So there's a whole system to how these events are organized, which is not well understood. And we have all that info. We've been following that for years. Even before we started Unicorn Riot, we had our eye on how these conventions work because the practices that they use, the mobile field force, surveillance, FBI infiltration. I met a lot of FBI informants, people that turned out to be over the course of the 2008 RNC back in Minneapolis. A lot of the attendees here were also at the 08 RNC. They know that very well. In 2009, they got raided by feds only a few months after the convention. So I guess if you step back, there's a larger campaign of political control, of keeping activists on the defensive, and sometimes these conventions really play into that. So far, this one's been calm. This one has been the most calm one that I've been at. So the organizers put a lot of effort into kind of keeping things from, basically keeping the police from attacking everybody. Seems to have worked so far. So we'll get some more interviews going here in a minute. Thank you all again. Thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. UnicornRiot.ninja/donate. We want to keep trying to bring you these conventions and more interviews from the streets. So Chris, let's go left. All right. We'll try to talk to some other folks out here. Cool. Chris, say, do you want to talk about why you're here today? Talk about why you're here today? We're live right now on Unicorn Riot. Okay. Cool. Say, excuse me. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
Interview her. I'm
okay.
having an interview.
Okay. Do you want to talk about why you're here today? We're live right now.
Yeah. Here to make the message that Trump and his colleagues are not welcomed in Milwaukee at all.
What have you seen from all these different groups? What's jumped out at you today that you've noticed?
That people who have built this country, immigrants, BIPOC community, are vocalizing that they're done. They're done with the hate, the division, the ignorance of a former president that seems to not understand that ever and will never. And I don't understand why.
So what kind of organizing have people been doing? What have you been aware of?
Yeah, we've been organizing for about 2 years now since we found out that it was going to be here. We've been trying to get different organizations across the country to join us in this effort to vocalize that they're not welcome here, that they shouldn't be here. Milwaukee is a city that's been thriving because of the immigrant and the BIPOC community who's built it from bottom up.
Sorry about that. Okay, sorry, buddy. Sorry about that. Can you talk about how difficult was it to be working on this, to be fighting the city for 2 years, to get the protest route open and all that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it was very, very hard to get the permit to the route. Get the route going and accepted by the city. They had turned in a route 2 years prior to this date, and it got pushed back by Secret Service until just recently. They released the route like 2 weeks ago, and they had denied it at first, but then we pushed back on the city, and we were able to go according to the original route.
And they prevented that park across the river from being used as well, correct?
Yes, they put a lot of blockage where they weren't supposed to, which is very inhumane because it's an accessibility issue, and it's not okay. Like we're just trying to use our, amendment rights, freedom of speech, to be able to vocalize that we need to make sure that everybody's needs are being met, and according to this, they're not.
Is there anywhere else you suggest people can go to learn more, or like after this convention ends? What are people going to be working on? And also, are you concerned that there'll be more police equipment and a change in policing in the city after this as well? So afterwards, what are you thinking?
Yes, so there's going to definitely be debriefing of organizations on what went well, what we could do better next time in regards to create organizing for a big protest march like this. The people who are in charge of it are the coalition to the march of the RNC 2024. They're the ones who kind of organized everything and organized all the organizations to be part of this across the nation. I think there is going to be, there already is a lot of police presence ever since attempt on former Trump just 2 days ago, and it's just going to be heavy, and it brings a lot of division, like people who can't drive, like undocumented immigrants, because in our city, sadly, in 2007, they got removed the driver's licenses. People who need to get to where they need A to B in the city can't reach their destination and have to find alternatives. So things like that, it's just sad to see that there's so much police presence. Like they view us as we're animals, like if we are going to create violence, when in reality that's not the truth. Like nobody has done that. If anything, it's the Republicans who've used force and weapons and to voice their concerns when we can't even have a civilized conversation. In America today, we can't do that.
So would you say that people that have worked on this are also, some of them will also be involved in protesting the Democrats in a month down in Chicago? Can you talk about, these cities are so close to each other.
Yeah, there's going to be the people who organize this march are going to be also rallying and protesting at the DNC because, President Biden hasn't done much in regards to Gaza, the genocide that's happening in Gaza to this day. And he's kind of just sitting around for what? Like, you have blood in your hands, dude. Seriously, how can you sleep like that, knowing that kids are dying? Like, I'm a teacher. I work with kids. It hurts to see that.
So there was a shooting attempt on candidate Trump over the weekend, and politicians condemned political violence. But what I noticed is that when they sponsor wars and bombing of other countries, they don't talk about that.
They don't talk about that, right?
Political violence.
Yeah, no, they don't. They just shove it under the rug, and they don't consider that political violence. They choose to identify what is acceptable as political violence, and that is not okay. That is not right. So many Democrats and Republicans have said that phrase. I'm like, no. We see that all of it is political violence, and that's it. Own it.
All right, cool. Anything else that you'd like to add, or any groups that people should know about here in the area?
We're gonna keep We're gonna keep vocalizing that he is not welcomed in Milwaukee, and he shouldn't even be here, because our people are gonna keep saying what we have to say. You are not welcome.
Excellent. Are there any other things happening later in the week or tomorrow, or anything scheduled that you're aware of?
Yes, there's gonna be a lot of like local events to kind of protest this, but not nearby. It's more like building community and not focusing so much on the RNC and having people like create community.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. All right. So that's another person who was, locally involved in organizing this. All right, so we're coming back to the Red Arrow Park. We've been out a pretty long and hot day here. The heat's coming down, fortunately. So we're going to kind of see what happens. We know that there's supposed to be a Poor People's March. We've been pushing our camera gear to the limits with the temperatures and everything. So thank you all for tolerating the technical snags that we get as we go along. Say, did you want to talk about why you're here today? We're live right now.
Any of these guys are
Okay, cool. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
Sure, I'm here because we have to show the Republican Party and the other major parties that we're opposed to the genocide in Palestine funded by U.S. dollars, the criminalization of migrants who are seeking asylum in the border, the restriction and the banning of abortion rights for so many, the rights of queer and trans people. There's a lot of reasons to be here, and we're organized to do that.
All right. Anything else you want to add, or where you're from?
I'm St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm a teacher, and we have to keep going with this movement because the times ahead require a lot of organization and resistance.
Does it feel like things are getting more tense? That you know, the political situations, you know, do you feel like things are ratcheting up in a way?
Well, tension is part of our politics. I mean, I think that when the contradictions become so clear and you have basically a decision between a fascist and a warmonger, and you're looking at the way people are suffering at different levels, that creates more tension. And that means we have to be more organized to be able to confront that. So yeah, there's a tension, but it can be a tension that's productive.
Okay, so in front of us, thank you so much. Anything else you want to add?
No, it's got it, thanks.
Thanks. All right, so basically behind us right now, or in front of us, there's the pro-lifers. The pro-lifers made a move into the Arrow Park. So basically, the pro-lifers made a move right there. There's a cluster of them, so that's what that was about. The pro-life group has been kind of roaming around. Yeah. Let's. Do you want to go over? Okay. All right. Hang on. All right, you go first. We're climbing over the big fence. So yeah, so there's some pro-lifers that popped up in there. People are massing up. The heat came down a little bit, thankfully. A little bit less hot now. People are coming back. I don't think there were any arrests. All right, thank you all for joining in. Yeah, we're back at the Red Arrow Park again. So
in front of the stage, gather around. We're gonna hear some more speeches.
Yeah.
Gather.
Yeah, can you just show what, in general, the shot of this? All right, so basically that's like a bunch of pro-lifers on the left there. They were farther north and they came down here. So, but there hasn't been that much agitation from the right-wingers during this, but there has been some, and it's mainly been these guys, a few groups of these. What's that?
Holding a little, there's a little baby.
Yeah, like a little one, little babies. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I think we're gonna hang in there for a little while longer. But yeah, it's been hot out. It's been a hell of an event. Definitely, I think at least a few thousand people around from a lot of different cities came out for this. A lot of people. What's that? Okay, so we're hearing now that J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio, is going to be the vice presidential nominee of the Republican Party right now. That is confirmed. That would be a big win for Peter Thiel, who worked very hard to promote Vance's career. Thiel put a lot of money into a bunch of different candidates, and Vance was the most successful. Vance also worked with Thiel, made a lot of money there. He wrote the Hillbilly Elegy book, I believe, which helped burnish his reputation before going into politics. So there could be more hillbilly elegy messaging you could expect from that. Maybe we can get some more interviews from these other folks. I'm just gonna see if I can get some more interviews. We're not. All right. Yeah, no picture. All right, yeah, audio only. Please go ahead.
Well, I'm from Milwaukee, and I work in Milwaukee, and I'm a union worker, and I just think it's kind of ridiculous that the Republicans can just descend on the downtown of our city and just take it over for a week, and it's like, ultimately I really think that if you want to make a difference, you got to organize like all year round, and that it's like coming out here is really just kind of symbolic. But I guess I couldn't miss like the freak show too. Like I had to kind of like see how crazy they were about to get downtown, but it's kind of crazy. They like close off all the freeways, they reroute the buses, and they like really inconvenience all the people, like the regular working class people who live here and work here, to just take it over for like the ruling classes, like convention. And it's like, I know a lot of people in the service industry, and they're just like, it's just a big party for them, It's like really that's what conventions are. It's just they hobnob and schmooze all day, and then just like get drunk at night, and just kind of like take over. So I thought at least like we could show that they can't just like take over our city for the week and like inconvenience all of us and make it a pain in the ass to live here. So,
and I was seeing reports in the Guardian that even restaurant owners were having trouble getting bookings, right? So even the business owners were not, they were being sold short from what they were promised in terms of revenue.
Yeah, I mean, like, but then a lot of the businesses nearby here, they just, and the bars and the restaurants, they're like renting out their whole place, and they're open till 4 a.m. just serving drinks to the Republicans. So it's like, I think they ultimately, like that, yeah, that's what they bill it as. And even the Democrat mayor, Chevy Johnson, rolled out the red carpet for the Republicans, and they bill it to everybody as like, oh, it's tourism revenue, but it's like a, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how much of an expense it is for the city paying for all of the cops and shit. So it's like, it's just sort of ridiculous how much they inconvenience the regular person who lives here for their little dog and pony show. So
were you involved at all in the last couple of years of like kind of fighting to even get the protest route we were on and stuff like that?
No, I wasn't involved in all that. Like I guess I'm a little agnostic about the value of like the protest march. Like I'm here to turn out and to like see the shit show, but ultimately it's like, what really matters is like long-term organizing and workplaces and communities with tenants, and like long-term working class organizing is like really what it's going to take to be able to build the kind of power we need to fight the Republican and the Democratic ruling class agenda.
Well, regarding local stuff, is there anywhere that people should know or any groups people should know about to give a better understanding of what happens in Milwaukee organizing and local politics?
Well, I mean, like Wisconsin, Milwaukee was like a big site of the fight for like public services being slashed over the last 10 years. Like Wisconsin used to be a place where there was pretty strong unions, and the Republicans really went after their best worst, and they passed Act 10 and Right to Work in the span of a few years, eliminating collective bargaining and the closed shop from public and private sector unions. So it's like the fight, the labor movement fight, it's going on the last 10 years, and we've really been, organizations like unions like AFSCME and the teachers unions, a lot across the state, a lot of those locals have been super decimated and kind of fucked over. But people got to just like organize in their workplaces and build that power back up with direct action, and like, can't rely on the law or the legal system. So, I really think people gotta, it was cool to see that there was a big Palestine occupation at the UW Milwaukee and UW Madison. So yeah, hell yeah. I don't know. I'm glad to see people out. Fuck the Republicans, fuck the Democrats.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna go check out the speakers. Sorry about the audio interference. There's a lot of wireless audio in the city, so microphones get jammed up. It's pretty annoying for all of us. But thank you for listening in.
We're leaving our homelands because we cannot live in our homelands. The U.S. war and militarism in our homelands is forcing us to leave. Like Carlos said, it's U.S. imperialism that's at the root cause of forced migration around the world. There are more than 300 million forced migrants. There are 100 million refugees and we're building that grassroots movement with workers, migrants, and people all around the world to take back what's ours. And so this migrant situation, what Border and Biden are talking about, or Biden and Trump are talking about, the U.S. border, we were just there. And the solution is not a bigger wall, but people's movement to take down walls. We say free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go! From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go! From Palestine to the Philippines and the U.S. war machine! From Palestine to the Philippines and the U.S. war machine! Long live international solidarity! Long live international solidarity! Mabuhay, long live! Thank you so much. Up next, give it up for Christine with the Minnesota Anti-War Committee!
All right, great job out there, everybody. I hope you're hanging in there. I'm so excited to be here in Milwaukee to protest this exceptionally vile group of scumbags at the RNC. My name is Christine, and I'm with the Anti-War Committee in Minnesota. We are an anti-imperialist, anti-U.S. intervention committee that organizes in the Twin Cities, and we proudly fight for the liberation of Palestine. Fuck Donald Trump and fuck Israel! While it has been the Democratic Party supporting the genocide of hundreds of thousands of people for the past 10 months and counting, we know that the same killings, bombings, and political violence would be happening if a Republican was in the White House, likely with even less shame. Republicans, and namely Donald Trump, have had their own hand in the political and financial support of Israel. The billion-dollar checks that are sent during Republican presidencies too, not just Democrats. Let's see. Trump has claimed to be anti-war in the past, but he's responsible for the escalations, massacres, and humanitarian crises that we see today in places like Venezuela, Syria, Afghanistan, and so many more. No matter who's in power, we need to keep raising the people's demands. No more wars, imperialism, or militarism, at home or abroad. Money for human needs, not for war. Legalization for all. End U.S. aid to Israel and free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Thank you!
So much! All right, up next with the New Orleans Students for a Democratic Society. Show some love for Vaughn!
Hi y'all, I'm Vaughn and I'm here all the way from Louisiana representing Tulane and Loyola Students for Democratic Society. This last May, we marched to Tulane University's front lawn to establish a popular university front for Gaza in order to pressure our universities into disclosure and divestment, as well as demonstrate our unwavering support of the international student movement and the Palestinian resistance movement. Upon arrival to the front lawn, we were immediately faced with police repression, cops mounted on horses charging at us, and we watched cops flip and drag our comrades. Once we were established, we were under 24/7 police watch. Cops used floodlights and blasted music throughout the entire night to wear us down. Until finally, Louisiana state troopers, who are known for their racist treatment, pulled up in the hundreds with a tank and snipers aimed at us and arrested over a dozen of us, myself included. I highlight the excessive police force used as its characteristics of a fascist Republican state, and that is why we showed up to protest the RNC, to struggle against the fascist government that the Republican Party is actively creating, and we will always dare to struggle. Dare to struggle? Dare to win! Dare to struggle?
Dare to win! Thank you so much, Vaughn. Up next, with the Milwaukee Democratic Socialists of America. Give it up for Domino Williams.
All right, everybody. 10 seconds from heat stroke, so bear with me now. My name is Domino Williams, and I'm the Outreach Chair for the Milwaukee Democratic Socialists of America. I'm also here to rep the YDSA, the Youth Democratic Socialists of America, who've done so much hard work to marshal for this event and run press, and I can't be any more proud of all of you. We stand in Milwaukee for socialism in our city, public utilities being owned by the masses, and a mass movement for the Green New Deal. We believe in power to the people. We would also like to honor our former socialist mayors, Emil Seidel, Daniel Hone, and Frank Ziedler, who I'm sure are smiling down on all of us for defending our city from the invaders from afar who only mean us harm. They've called this a horrible city, but many of our ancestors called this Milwaukee because it was the good land. How dare any of them speak badly on the good land? I just want to say, if you have a union in your workplace, join it. If you don't, organize one. And please, if you take anything from this march today, join an organization. Mass movement, mass power is the only way we can get through these things together.
Thank you, Domino. All right, up next, we're going to hear from Sydney with Homegrown Organizing Committee.
I'm Sydney. I'm a proud rank and file union member. I'm a shop steward, and I was a part of the bargaining committee in my shop. I work at Homegrown Sustainable Sandwiches in Seattle. We began unionizing 2 years ago, leading a militant struggle, fighting for a safe workplace, livable wages, health insurance, and much, much more. We struck many times throughout this campaign. In late October, I was illegally fired for being a union organizer. All my coworkers walked out with me that day because together we knew we could win. We were on strike for 4 months, and we stayed on strike because we knew this fight was far bigger than any one job. This was about winning all we could win in our contract and for the labor movement. After 4 months, we fucking won! At the same time, we won both my reinstatement and a life-changing contract with many victories, including heat pay at time and a half over 82 degrees in the store and double pay over 86 degrees in the store. Woo! That's crazy. These are winnable demands for all of us. We will keep fighting back on the shop floor and on the streets. This is why my union siblings and I are here today, marching on the RNC. We must demand that lawmakers make it easier for us to unionize and win, and not harder. We must demand every hard-fought win of the working class. We will be the Republicans' opposition. Yeah. Woo. When we fight, we win. When we fight.
All right, thank you so much, Sydney. Up next, give it up to the Denver Anti-War Action. Give it up to Sol.
Howdy, y'all. My name's Sol. I'm with the Denver Anti-War Action, and we're here for Palestine! Just like the Democrats, the Republicans support a policy of genocide and unrestrained violence in Palestine. Shame! They have even suggested further escalations, with numerous Republicans calling for the use of nuclear weapons, and Trump stating that the U.S. should let Israel, quote, finish the job. Shame! We will not stand for this, and we will remain steadfast in our commitment to fighting for a free Palestine. Back in Denver, we've been fighting one of the primary suppliers to Israel, Lockheed Martin. Through supplying Israel with many of the weapons, surveillance technology, and most of the jets dropping bombs on Gaza, Lockheed plays a pivotal role in this genocide. Without Lockheed, this genocide would likely not even be possible. Shame! That is why we demand that Colorado cut ties with Lockheed Martin, and today we demanded that the RNC do the same. These Republicans are bought up by Lockheed and the rest of the war profiteering industry, just like our politicians at home in Colorado. It is time we put an end to this blatant war profiteering. Without these criminals, Israel would not be able to maintain its occupation. We will win our fight here in the U.S., just as the resistance will in Gaza, and we will live to see a free Palestine.
Thank you so much, Sol. Up next, with the American Party of Labor, give it up to Camilo Lasso.
Greetings from the American Party of Labor. We've been asked to be brief, so brief I shall be. Very. Yesterday was Bastille Day. Today, they're crowning a king. What would our forebears say? What would they say? I think I know. What APL says, what I say, what many comrades, sisters, and brothers here of all organizations would say. Now, then, forever, revolution is the solution. Revolution is the solution. Revolution is the solution.
There we go. I like it. Short and sweet and to the point. Thank you so much, Camilo. Up next, with Freedom Socialist Party, give it to Andrea Bauer.
Hello, everybody. As he said, I'm Andrea Bauer. I'm representing the Freedom Socialist Party and Radical Women, and I am very proud and happy to be here today. I think that you can find us, by the way, at socialism.com. Very easy to remember. We'll also be in Chicago protesting the Democratic Party, as will many of you be. We know the litany of evils that we live under this two-party dictatorship, you might say, from the takeover of women's bodies by the far right, to the unending imperialist wars, to the trashing of the planet, and on and on. Thank you. The question is now, what do we do? And I think what we do is we say, the day of hoping in reforms is way over. We need basic change. We need socialist feminist revolution. And it will be led by people who need change the most. The people of color, the women, trans and queer people. For socialism.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Up next, with the Milwaukee League of Anarchists, give it up to Saturn.
Hello, my name is Saturn, and I am speaking on behalf of the Milwaukee League of Anarchists. We are a horizontal organ of prefigurative politics working to build a world free of oppression, injustice, and hierarchy. As an anarchist organization, we stand in firm and absolute opposition to fascism and in solidarity with all of the oppressed. Let us say in no uncertain terms, the Republican Party is a fascist party. Project 2025 is a fascist project. And so here we stand, anti-fascists united, to make it clear that Milwaukee is no safe home for fascists. We demand liberation, total and absolute, and we demand it now. Freedom from capitalism, freedom from the state, freedom from the cis heteropatriarchy, freedom from racism and racialization. Yes, we demand freedom for all. And we demand an excision of fascism and fascists from our city by all means necessary.
All right, up next, let's give it up to Jackson with the Detroit Anti-War Committee.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jackson with the Detroit Anti-War Committee and Students for a Democratic Society at Wayne State. Why we came out here is to show that we're not going to take Donald Trump and his rhetoric and his support for genocide just laying down. We're going to fight him here, where we're going to continue to fight him no matter what. In Detroit, we're working for divestment while our city invests in genocide, when we still have buildings becoming dilapidated, when we have money going to Dan Gilbert, when we have money going to all these oligarchs, when not a dollar is going into our schools. So we're continuing to fight. We're continuing to show that Detroiters do not support war, we do not support genocide, and we stand with our brothers and sisters that are fighting every single day in Palestine. And we will not stop fighting until the entirety of Palestine is liberated and Detroit is no longer investing in war profiteers and these genocide maniacs. All right. Up next, give it up to my comrade Kia with No Cop in New Orleans. Kia!
Hi, everyone. My name is Kia. I'm a part of No Cop, which is New Orleans for Community Oversight of the Police, in affiliation with NARPR. Since 2021, we have been organizing a petition campaign demanding the formation of a civilian police accountability council in New Orleans. As a majority black city in the Gulf South, we feel the effects of racist Republican policy heavily under our fascist governor, Jeff Landry. Despite our current consent decree, he has allowed Louisiana State Police to run rampant in our city, leading to discrimination and dangerous conditions for all of our citizens. A specialized unit of LSP was involved in 4 car crashes in as many days on their first week of deployments. The consent decree does not answer to the people. Our police are not accountable to the communities that they patrol. The people must have the ultimate say in how they are policed and governed. We will not be silenced and we will not be killed by racist police. As a black woman, the struggle for freedom in this repressive, imperious country is entwined in my DNA. My ancestors made it so I could be here today. I see no other option but to stand up and fight. This needs to stop, and we will not get anywhere by asking nicely. We will not accept police brutality and terrorism. That's why we say, when criminal cops are on patrol, what do we demand? Community control. Thank you.
Thank you, Kia. Up next, with Democratic Messaging Project, give it up for Lisa.
Thank you. So we are all here together because we need to unite. We're going to win this race in November by the ballot, not by the bullet. We're going to control guns and not girls, right? So the violence we witnessed on Saturday is a symptom of the politics of just one man, and that's Donald Trump. It's another link in the chain of events that happened on January 6, 2021. Trump is a clear and present danger to the country and to the world. Trump's Project 2025 and his MAGA dictatorship party is a traitorous takeover of our country. And we need to make sure that we don't let him win. We need to get out to vote. Don't vote for third party. You've got to just get out and vote for the Dems. If you don't vote, our freedom to protest and assemble like this will not happen anymore if Trump gets in power. We also have to fight for our lives, our reproductive freedoms, for all young men and young women around the country. It's a true state like Handmaid's Tale, Project 2025, and we've got condoms that say protect yourself from Republicans if you want. We need to preserve our birth control and our reproductive freedoms, so vote this November. Make sure you don't miss out.
Thank you so much, Lisa. All right, up next, give it up to Barbara with the Green Party of Greater Milwaukee.
Hello. Hi, we're the Green Party. So we are an actual party that stands for peace. Peace in Palestine. Peace here at home. Peace in Milwaukee. Peace all around the world. We don't want to invest in any war. Not with the Republicans, not with the Democrats. If the color wasn't red right now, I think that Biden was going to come here. They're basically the same guy. Whether you got a Republican in office or a Democrat in office, they're both pro-genocide. Republican or Democrat, they're both anti-immigrant. They're both anti-worker. They're both anti-human rights. They stand for the donors, and they don't care about us. They think that we're ants. They're going to crush us at every turn, but we can stand together today. So turn to your neighbor and get their number. Let's organize. We've made it happen today. Let's go for peace. Let's go for justice, environmental wisdom. Thank you so much. Free Palestine!
Thank you so much to the Green Party, and thank you to our closing greeters. We're going to move on to the final portion of today, which is we're going to close with a couple of speakers who are going to take the messaging from today and point us into what's to come and moving forward, all right? So up first, I need a warm Milwaukee welcome for our comrade with the International League of People's Struggle, Cody Urban.
All right. Y'all ready to let those fascist mob bosses over in the Pfizer Center know that you're still here? The people united! The people united! El pueblo unido! El pueblo unido! That's right, give it to yourselves for singing it out for this whole march!
Give me a second here.
Thank you, my comrades here. As they said, my name is Cody Urban. I'm the chairperson of the U.S. chapter of the International League of People's Struggle.
Check. Is that okay? All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We've been here at the 2024 Republican National Convention protests. Part of our rig has fallen off. We push the equipment as hard as we can today. Thanks to your support, that helps us bring what happens on the front line out to you. So if you go to unicornriot.ninja/donate, you can help support our work. We also have a special deal going on for kind of a T-shirt raffle as well. Thank you, Alex. Basically, it's like if you donate to us, you can be entered in a T-shirt raffle if you go in through that donation, which would be great. So we've heard from a lot of people. We've heard from a lot of locals. We heard from a lot of people that were organizing to even just have the protest, to even just have the protest route that we were on today was a hard get that took years to get. It turned off? It's not live. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I'll finish recording. All right. So anyway, thank you all for supporting us so much. We really appreciate it. We've been able to hear from so many different people with a lot of different perspectives going on today. We're going to try to bring at least part of the rally of the Poor People's March that's coming up in about 90 minutes as well. So thank you all for tuning in, and thanks for sticking with us. We try to bring this out to you to show you, the viewpoints of the people that are out in the streets, not the power players. But we also try to show you the mechanisms of how the police these things, how the police crack down on protest movements. And national special security events are the best place to learn about those tactics because it's so elaborate here. So thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate your support, and we'll go down now. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for Chris on the camera work, and Dee working on the back end, and Nico helping out with the coordination, and the other folks as well. Thanks, everyone, and have a great afternoon. Thank you.
We are seeing the two biggest war criminals.